Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. Today's class is about parallel lines. If you guys don't know what a line is, then you guys can go check out my lines video that I did 2 weeks ago. I'll link that below and you guys can go check that out. But yeah, without further ado, let's get on with the video. Let's go. So, as you guys can see, today's topic is parallel lines. So, you guys may be asking, what is a parallel line? So, parallel lines are two lines that are coplanar and they also never touch or intersect. I talked about intersecting lines and like intersections in general in my first plane video. You guys can go check that out. I will also link that down below. So, shameless plug, but you know, if you guys don't know the basics, go watch it because you guys will definitely need it. So, some examples of parallel lines. I have prepared quite a few. So, as you guys can see, there are 4 examples of parallel lines. So lines AB and lines CD are parallel. Lines EF, GH are parallel. Lines IJ and KL are parallel. And finally, lines MN and OP are parallel. And I will explain how you can tell and stuff like that. So how can you tell if the two lines are parallel? Good question, because that's very important. You cannot just assume that two lines are parallel because that will definitely be a little bit risky. So the way you can tell two lines are parallel are if they have like these two arrows. And you guys can see the difference between these lines and these lines are these two lines have arrows. Only if they're parallel they will have that line. And another way you can tell is like by finding like slope and stuff, but I will go into that later in a future video. So you guys don't really need to know about that right now, but this is just like the basic way to tell and like pretty safe bet to tell, because I promise you a question will not put these two little arrows if the line is not parallel. Math is not that mean. So if two or more parallel lines intersect, so in other words, if there are more than one pair of parallel lines, this is just an example right here. So as you guys can see, there are 4 total lines and 2 pairs of parallel lines. So as you guys can see, AB and CD are like straight up and down and have 1 arrow. And then lines EF and GH are going completely horizontally, and they have 2 arrows, as you can see. So another question is how you can mark parallel lines. And this is the last thing I will cover before going on to the quiz. So the way you can mark that 2 lines are parallel is, once again, you guys can see that there are 2 parallel lines because of the arrow and stuff. You can, instead of writing lines A, B, and CD are parallel because that takes a little bit too long, you can just write A, B with like a line over it, 2 vertical lines, CD. These 2 vertical lines are technically parallel. They are meant to represent 2 parallel lines. However, you do not have to spend like 5 hours drawing the perfect, completely straight parallel lines. You can just draw 2 straight up lines and everyone will know what you're talking about. So yeah, now we will go on to the quiz. So let's go. So here we have the parallel lines quiz, 3 questions. I will give you guys 3 seconds for every question. As always, you guys can just pause the video if you guys need more than 3 seconds to figure it out and like kind of like absorb the content that you guys are seeing right now. So yeah. So first question is, which pair of lines are parallel? Select all that apply. Select all that apply means there may potentially be more than one answer. So you can select multiple if you think there are more than one. So I will give you guys 3 seconds. Done. Okay. So there are actually 2 answers. The first answer was A. The reason you can be completely sure that the lines are parallel for A is mainly because they have the arrow, and that's pretty much like always gonna mean that it's parallel. B is definitely not parallel lines, and I may have forgotten to mention this, but parallel lines always have to be straight. They cannot be curved. They always have to be completely straight, so this is definitely not a pair of parallel lines. In fact, you may not even be able to call these lines. C is also not correct. They could potentially be parallel, but you cannot always assume that if there are no arrows. And as I said, there is another way to be able to tell whether two lines are parallel or not, but I will go over that in a later video. But yeah, C, and I also drew them purposely like not parallel, so they're not parallel. D, once again, no arrows like this, so you cannot be totally sure, 100% sure that they are parallel. And actually, I also made them purposely not parallel. Finally, E is parallel. You can tell this because they have two arrows, meaning they are parallel. And also, I do my math on like grid paper because it's easier to draw and like write straighter and stuff. And also, it's easier to tell whether like the lines are like straight or not. So yeah. So I actually forgot to record this footage, but so the answer to this question was actually C. The reason is because A is actually a pair of intersecting lines, not parallel lines. I went over intersecting lines in my planes video. So go check that out if you guys are unsure of like what an intersecting lines are. B is not parallel just because EF is clearly off, like it's definitely not in line with GH, or GH is not in line with EF. Either way, they will meet and touch at one point, so they're not parallel. C, however, is parallel, as you guys can see, because once again, the arrow, the surefire way to tell whether two lines are parallel or not, and parallel lines can go in any direction as long as they don't cross, like ever, as long as they're completely like across from each other. So they can go diagonally, up, down, left, right, it doesn't matter, as long as they have this arrow. So the final question is, it may look a little bit intimidating, but promise me it's a lot easier than you think. So the question is, identify two pairs of parallel lines. There's two answers. There's two pairs of parallel lines. So I will give you guys actually 5 seconds to figure this out. Pause the video if you guys need more time. Done. So the answer was lines AB and CD, as well as IG and KL. You know what? I actually forgot to mark that. So I will quickly do that. So first we have lines AB, and then next up we have line CD. And then next we have lines IJ and KL. IJ and KL. So, once again, you can definitely tell, they definitely do kind of stand out, mainly because they have the arrows. So, yeah. Let me know how many out of 3 you got correct. Hopefully you guys got all 3. Hopefully I was able to explain everything sufficiently enough so that you guys at least have a pretty solid understanding of what of like parallel lines. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. Make sure to give it a like, subscribe to my channel, and hit that notification bell so that way when I upload, you guys will get a new notification and you guys can watch. Make sure to go follow my Instagram and Twitter to be updated on the classes and like the topics and stuff. Thank you guys a lot for watching, and I will see you guys next week with another video. Bye.